What's up, everybody? Welcome to Daily Wisdom. We break down 10, 15 minutes of some personal growth principles and make it applicable into your life. And we've been breaking down and starting up actually a really exciting series that I'm pumped to share with each and every single one of you. And we're breaking down Jim Rohn's Challenge to Succeed. This is kind of like one of the ultimate life-changing audios that I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'd encourage you as well, too, as we break these down, that you go into, you can find it on YouTube these days. Back in the day, I had to go buy it, but it's awesome to have. And I'm tuning in from Tahiti. We're actually on a company incentive trips of the company we're with 300 of our partners and friends from literally around the world. Yesterday, we were actually with them. Italy, France, China, Japan, all over North America. We have friends, family everywhere. And it's just, trips are cool for sure. But you know what's even better than a trip? A paid for trip. So we're excited to be out here. And it got me a lot to think about our topic today as well, too, and how it can be relevant for you as well, too. Because when I think about life change, and each and every single one of us, I want you to think as we go through this today, what's an area in life that you want to change? Is it somewhere in your relationships, somewhere in your family, somewhere in your finances, somewhere in your whatever that it is, right? What do you want to change about you? And for me, I definitely wanted to change in lifestyle before, and I wanted to change in me. I wanted to be able to live a certain way. I wanted to live in peace with myself. I wanted to be confident in myself, because before I got introduced to personal growth and entrepreneurship, my mind was completely different. I didn't think this way, act like this, talk like this, look like this. It was completely different. In fact, I was super low confidence. I never thought I'd amount to much in life. I thought I was destined for mediocrity. I don't know if you've ever felt that way. It's like, there's them, they're living those lives, and this is me. And I was sitting there yesterday. We went on this excursion. We went on the bluest waters you've ever seen. Like it looks so blue that you just want to jump in the ocean and drink and sip the water type of blue. But as I'm sitting there with just absolute gratitude, and I'm thinking to myself, gosh, I remember I used to think to myself, people that do these types of things aren't people like me. And I don't know who that's for today, but I want to let you know that this topic today is the thing that changed my life. I hope it can change yours as well, too. As we're going into Challenge to Succeed, we're talking about there's 5 major pieces of the life puzzle that are going to change your life. One of the first and the most important one is what you call philosophy. Your philosophies. Your philosophies are what you know. Your philosophies are what you believe. It's what you hold true. You can call it your subconsciously held beliefs, not just your consciously held ones, but your subconsciously held ones. And Jim Rohn describes this, good morning, describes this as the set of the sail. The set of the sail. Imagine we're all in a sailboat. Ironically, yesterday we were literally in a boat, right? So imagine a sailboat, you have a sail. And what Jim Rohn says is that the destination does not depend upon the wind of life, the circumstances. Maybe you felt in your life, you've had certain circumstances. And to be honest, each and every single one of us have had unfair, painful, hurtful, unfortunate things happen in our lives. In this moment right now, as I'm sharing this, you have things in your life right now that are not going according to what you would want it to be. And I used to think that my life was a product of my circumstances. I thought because this happened, because I was born this way, raised this way, lived this way, that's why my life had to be a certain way. And then when I learned this lesson of the set of the sail determines your destination, not the wind, because the same wind blows on us all, doesn't it? Right? We live in the same world. We have the same troubles, some different than others, but we all have trial, we all have tribulation. In fact, put a 1 in the chat if you are experiencing some type of challenge in your life right now as we speak. Family challenge, financial challenge, right, Pam? Yeah. We all got stuff going on. We all do. Okay. That's the reality of life. Yeah. Right. You see all the ones here. Everyone does. If not, let me live your life. Wow. That's amazing. Right. It's promised that we will have trials and tribulations. So the difference of our lives is not the trial, because that is a given. That is life. That is what life is, right? Jim Rohn also says in the CD, kind of a funny definition of life. Life is the challenge to get as far away from death as possible. So death is always crouching at the door, right? Decay is always crouching at the door. Everything starts to degrade over time, right? On this side of eternity. But the empowering part to this is that if you change the set of your sail, the philosophies, what you believe, then your destination will change. And I remember hearing these philosophies when I was 19 years old. And let me tell you what 19-year-old philosophies were. My philosophy was, I am just born a certain way, right? I am just who I am because this is who I was. My philosophies were, don't try, you'll only get hurt. Well, that's not going to lead you to many places, right? But how many philosophies and subconsciously held beliefs do we each hold in our lives that are actually not serving us? They're actually hurting us. They're keeping us back from our potential, from our growth, from our destiny, from our dreams. And then when I realized that I could actually change these philosophies, I was just like, what? Jim Rohn says, we're not a tree, meaning you can change. You don't have to stay planted. If you don't like what's going on in life right now, just know your life is a sum total of your beliefs, your habits, your actions in the past, in your finances, in your faith, in your family, in everything right now. It's just a product of the past. So if you don't like something, how do you change it? Can you change it? Yes. How do you change it? You change your philosophy. I heard that at 19. I'm like, what? It's like I realized I wasn't a tree. And maybe you need to realize that you're not a tree. You can change. But when you start to realize that these changes start to happen, right? Here's a key thing. Destination does not change overnight. Right? So let's say you want to lose weight. And we've all had those decisions and those new resolutions, those goals, those days that we say, I'm changing my life around. I'm looking at Pam in her Zoom room right here. Pam's lost like over 45 pounds. She's a grandma that's back to her high school weight, for example, right? She wasn't always like that. But she made a decision one day saying, I am not going to live like this. But she didn't wake up the next day 45 pounds lighter. It doesn't work that way for any of us in life. So understand that when you have a season of change and when you change your philosophies, here's a saying that Jim Rohn said, destination doesn't change overnight. Your life doesn't change overnight, meaning your actual outward manifestations, the things that you're creating in your life is not changing overnight. However, direction does change overnight. Destination doesn't change overnight, but direction changes overnight. And if you continue to keep on in a different direction, if you keep on pointing your sail, your mindset, your philosophies, you keep on training a different way of thinking, then you will see, you give it some time. And I think that's the part that trips us all up, right? The time part, because we all want what we wanted yesterday. I'm a little kid at heart. I want to have it yesterday. I want the lollipop now. I want the glory now. I want the wins now. But life doesn't work that way. Life works on us as we're working through life, right? So destination doesn't change overnight, but direction does. But if you know that that's a truth, then you have the confidence and the assurance that if you keep on heading into the right direction, that eventually life will change. And I wake up today as we end this. This was 13 years ago, I first heard those philosophies. And if you told me today that this moment that I'm personally living, I'd be in the beautiful islands of Tahiti with my wife. We have some of our teammates here, Jack and Lily. We're with our friends, with our family. We've won these trips. We're like, if you were to tell me at 19 that that would have happened, I would have not believed you, because I remember what it was like thinking and being a certain way for so long. I just want to share that as encouragement for you, because each and every single one of us can change. For things to change, we got to change. We're going to change our philosophies first on what we believe. So here's a food for thought. Here's an assignment for today. What is a belief that you know you hold to be true, that you know is not serving you? What is a belief you hold to be true that you know is not serving you? Is it, for example, they did me wrong? Fill in the blank for they. Government did me wrong. Family did me wrong. Friend did me wrong. Colleague did me wrong. my spouse or former spouse did me wrong, my partner, my friend, they did me wrong. Is that the limiting belief that is holding you back, that you've held to be true? I'm not condoning what happened. The hurt was there, but the direction of where we can take it, is it serving us or not serving us? Is it a certain way that you've been in life? Maybe it's a certain personality trait. Maybe the thought is, I've always been this way. I've always been hard-headed. I've always been stubborn. I've always been impatient. I've always been blah, 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 fill in the blank. We all have them. Is that the limiting belief that is not serving you, that needs to be changed? Is it the belief that, I just can't do well with the things that I set my mind to? I failed so many times, it just doesn't work for me. I'm not a person that can dream anymore. I've lost that time. I've lost that opportunity. That's just not for me. They're different than me. They're not like me. Is that the belief? I want you to think today, what is a belief that you know? And no one needs to, no one needs to tell you what it is. You know what it is, right, Marla? And it's powerful when you go through the self-reflection, because you know yourself the best, don't you? You know the things that are struggling, that are challenging you, but many times we cover it and we hide it, and we don't even confront it. I want to challenge you today to confront whatever that belief is that you know is totally not serving you. And I challenge you to change direction on that belief and to flip it around. Instead of using those beliefs to say why I can't, use them to say, now that's why I can. Because I've been this way, I know what it's like being that way, and I'm committed to now changing that and never being that way again. Because I know what it's like to be hurt, then I commit to myself that I'm not going to let that hurt me anymore, because I'm sick and tired of feeling and being a certain way, right? Whatever that it is, make the decision today and be committed to a different direction. And if you keep that up and you change the set of the sail, I promise you, your destination will change in a matter of time. So I hope that encourages you. Hope you have a thought today. If this did encourage you, hey, feel free to share this. We put this live on our Facebook. We put this live on different platforms. We're also putting this onto our YouTube. If you're seeing this onto your friend's page, hey, ask them. We have a free Zoom room. We go Monday through Friday. We go through some daily wisdom. I love this. Pam said, limiting belief. Can't stay focused to get DMOs done, too much on her plate. And she is bulldozing through that right now. I love it. I love it. All right, everyone. Hey, other than that, have an awesome, awesome day. Thanks for joining in. Have a blessed one.